So here it is, the iPhone 11 Max Pro, or the Pro Max, whatever. iPhone 11 Pro Max, that's the way to say it. Literally, the only reason why I bought this is for that third lens right there, that ultra wide angle lens. If it wasn't for that lens, I probably would have found a much smarter way to spend $1,449. Like I could have gotten PETA the luxury dog bed that she's been asking for. But no, instead I got this. I mean, come on, I'm a YouTuber. All I care about is getting dope shots of myself. This is what influencing 400,000 people looks like. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. Sam, can you edit out my double chin? Sure, better battery life and faster processor, all that good stuff, cool. But I really just want my videos to look as good as possible. After using this camera for a little bit, the very first thing I noticed was the improvements on the selfie camera. So let me start off by comparing this camera to the iPhone 10, which is 2 generations ago. Across the board, it's just a better image, and that highlight roll-off is a big deal to me. Basically, whenever your face gets blown out or turns to white, it just looks really harsh on the skin. It doesn't look very natural. Like, look how harsh that lighting around like my forehead,
it's like right
and
here,
your eye. Yeah, it's so intense on the 10. Looks so much better on the 11. So this is a noticeable difference. You could also see it in the background of this shot on the iPhone 11. You can still see what's back there, but on the 10, it's completely blown out. And if you're walking while vlogging, you'll notice the stabilization kicking in more on the 11 Pro. With the 10, you feel every single footstep and bump, but the 11 smoothens that out a little bit. You can sometimes see the artifacts of digital stabilization kicking in here, but I think a majority of people would rather have that stabilization on and just deal with that side effect. Now let's take a look at the iPhone XS Max, which is just 1 generation ago. And for this phone, they decided to punch in this selfie camera quite a bit. So you can see that if I put them side by side, it's a lot closer and more zoomed in on the XS Max opposed to the 11, which I get a little bit more space with. It may not seem like a huge difference now, but it's definitely noticeable, especially if you want to feature multiple people in the same shot. You kind of have to hold it all the way out here. Hey, PETA, smile. Compared to the wider shot where I can get us both in very comfortably and easily. Oh, you must be tired. And then I can hold it all the way out and get all of us. Look at that. That's a cool wide angle shot, huh, PETA? What do you think? The way I see it with these, the wider the better, because I could always hold this phone up close to me, but once you're extended and you want to get it further away, you can't unless you're Elastigirl. Is that from... That's a character, right? Elastigirl? Is that from The Incredibles? Do you think? So the new 11 Pro just seems like the best of both worlds. We get that wider angle like we do get in the iPhone 10, but then also the better image quality, the better highlight roll-off, the dynamic range, and image stabilization that we get out of the XS Max. So I'm Potato Jet, and I proved this selfie camera. Now I've been dying to test out this wide angle lens, so let's go. All right, so here's how the ultra wide angle lens looks like on this camera. So far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I am just hand holding it. You can stabilize it with a gimbal like the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, which is probably the one I would recommend for this specific camera. And how's the sound quality? Hopefully it's decent and usable. If you do want better audio quality, you can always plug in an external microphone. But wow, I'm really impressed at how wide this frame is on this wide angle lens. I can't actually see what I'm filming right now because the wide angle lens is on the back of the phone. But knowing that it's so wide, I can just hold it out like this and I know I'm getting everything that I wanted to get. So that is cool. If you're familiar with full frame cameras, then this is equivalent to about a 13mm. So it's wider than what most vloggers are using right now. I shoot on around a 16 typically, and it's not quite as wide as something like a GoPro, but it's not too far off. It kind of does feel like I'm filming with an action camera sometimes. So now that I'm back here in the studio looking at some of the super wide angle footage, oh my God, I am so impressed. It looks so good. And it's so smooth too at this ultra wide angle. You almost don't even need a gimbal. This is just footage of me just walking with it. And it does definitely help to have a wide angle lens if you're trying to get footage to look stable. I really think not having this ultra wide angle lens is really what was keeping me from using my iPhone camera very often. But now I feel pretty comfortable using iPhone footage in my videos. Like anything, if we look closely enough, we will find some imperfections like the purple fringing that goes on in the top left corner here. But still, for something that is always in your pocket, this is phenomenal. Yo, Jonathan, here, check out this camera real quick.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, it's almost like a fisheye. You could literally get right up there.
It's pretty dope having it in the phone though, huh?
Yeah, no. That's insane, dude. I'm close.
And I still seeing most of my face?
I see all your face and
what about this close?
Yeah, still see your face.
And can you still see Steve?
Yeah.
No way. I'm like right up in it. Look, Gene, look how close I am.
Dude, no, I'm seeing how close you are to the camera. And look at that. He's all up in it.
That's good. And I have jiggly hands.
Jiggly hands.
I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Look at how cute they are all the way over there. So that's when we pull out our 2x zoom lens here. So here that is, and I'm holding it handheld, and it's looking pretty stable. So the stabilization is optical on this lens, so that's pretty good. Anything past this is not going to be an optical zoom anymore. It's going to be a digital zoom. So let's see how that looks. We're at 2x zoom right now. That's about a 3x zoom. So yeah, the 6x zoom, nothing special. It definitely looks pretty bad. Digital zoom, yeah, no thank you. But it's good to have. The telephoto lens is also the way to go if you're trying to get some of those super close-up macro shots too. It does a pretty good job with that. And you could very quickly switch between the different lenses while recording, which is nice. I'm not much of a photographer, but let me just play around, see what happens. So the ultra wide angle in photo mode is also super fun, and you could definitely see the HDR kicking on to kind of even out some of those shadows. It's not bad. It's really pretty impressive. Of course, portrait mode is still cool to have, especially if you're going for that blurry background look. A few parts where you could clearly see that it didn't get the perfect outline around your ear, and I think it just like it couldn't tell what that cable was. There's a little USB dongle that's hanging out in front of your face, and it just try to erase that or blur that out, I think. For the most part, it's pretty solid. Like these look pretty good here. And just for comparison, this is how a photo looks out of this camera. All right, so now we're in the shade. Let's try to take a few more shots of Sam over here. I didn't tell him to pose like that, but let's just go with it. The ultra wide lens is like ultra wide. I love it. I don't know how to feel about these photos. Again, we got some portrait mode shots. What else do we have here? We have high key light mono. Whoa. It's actually just like masking. It's just like real-time masking. It's crazy. Dang. I'm impressed at how smart this camera is. There's no effort going into these photos. It's literally like sit there and let me take a picture, boom, and a relatively good photo for that. Wow. With the wide angle lens, I am noticing that there is a lot of distortion around the edges, which is pretty common for wide angle lenses. Like right here, my face looks kind of skinny, but as I come to the edge, it looks like it kind of bubbles out a little bit, which is common. But on here, it seems like it's doing it more. Look how skinny your head looks right there. So quick tip, when you're shooting people with this ultra wide, try to keep them as centered as possible. Once you start getting to the edge of the frame, it just kind of widens out like that. All this looks great and all, but the weakness definitely shows in the dimly lit or low light situations. If we're talking about just that standard wide angle lens, it's definitely shown some improvements over the 10S Max, a little bit richer and a little bit better contrast and detail. So in low light, still nothing amazing, but it's getting better, so that's a plus. And to get the best video in low light, definitely keep your camera at the 1x zoom, the standard wide angle. And then if you go into telephoto mode, you go into an f2.0, so not as good, but still decent. Next up is the selfie camera. It definitely does not look that good in low light. And then worst of all is the ultra wide angle lens. It just looks terrible in low light. So even though I love that wide angle lens, just don't do it when you don't have enough light. So that slightly better low light capability is awesome to have in video, but the night mode for photography is pretty insane. So we got Sam here being lit by this candle. Let's see how this looks. On the first one, Sam came out blurry because he moved, but Sam, let's try one more. This time, stay as steady as you can. Here we go, and... All right, let's see how that looked. Oh, that's pretty good. Dude, you look really creepy. All right, let's try just going completely dark. Let's blot that candle. Okay, so wow, already it's actually pretty impressive. 3, 2, 1. How'd that come out? Whoa! It's really impressive what this thing is capable of doing. Super cool, I'm digging it. With a telephoto lens, you could do that as well, but there is no night mode on the wide angle lens, and this is how dark everything looks. Slow motion capability is always super fun to have in a phone, right? So 240 frames per second on this rear camera, awesome. Yes, I love it. The resolution definitely takes a huge hit. Everything looks quite a bit softer, but again, we're talking about super slow-mo on a cell phone, so heck yeah. And of course, super slow-mo does require a lot of light, so if you are in a somewhat dimly lit area or shade, I'd recommend shooting all your super slow-mo on that 1x zoom lens. You could even get up to 120 frames per second on the selfie camera, or Selfie as they call it. But overall, just super impressed with the images coming out of this camera. And as usual, whenever I get a new phone, I will be comparing it to another camera. I'm kind of curious, what kind of camera do you guys want me to compare this to? I could compare it to this Canon EOS R. I've got my red right there. Ooh, maybe this, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. That'd be an interesting comparison. You guys take the vote right there, let me know. Anyways, let's wrap this up by reading a few comments from my last video, which was kind of a vlog we shot over in Ireland about just kind of getting over my fear of public speaking. Top comment: the segment when Sam wants to get a selfie was hilarious. What was funny about that whole segment was that you were actually kind of nervous to talk to Peter, right?
Oh, dude. Ever since I started working for Gene, I'm like, can I please meet Peter? Oh, now that we're in Ireland, you're gonna get the chance to. And I kept begging him, okay, just don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me. And then Gene goes, oh, you know, he's actually like a really huge fan of you. And I'm like, oh my God, stop.
He like turned so red.
And I actually did get my selfie, guys. So there's this one, this one, this one, and this one.
You actually look nice in your young days, mate. How about now, huh? Huh? We need to get in shape, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna get ripped. See this? You're not. This is gonna be gone.
Potatoes today, French fries tomorrow.
That's good. That's good. That needs to be a T-shirt.
Having a Sam in my life is friendship gold. God, give me a Sam. So I actually took a screenshot of this. I circled it and I sent it to all my friends, and I'm like, you guys take me for granted.
I can attest to that. I think the fact that you think everything is funny and the fact that I think everything is funny, we're just nonstop giggling 100% of the time. We should never go to a funeral together. That'd be bad news. Why you seem to me fat version of Jet Li? If Jet Li had a double chin, would that look like me?
Yeah, he looks like a better looking version of you.
What do you? Not that much better looking though, right?